Try it yourself, using CSS to lay out web page components. In this try-it-yourself exercise, we'll put into practice several CSS layout properties. You can view the solution file in the book's code listings archive. There are two in this case. In the hour4 folder, we have hour0404.html, and in the CSS subfolder, an external style sheet named hour0404.css. Make sure in Aptana, in your hour4 folder, you have your CSS subfolder with a new file, or alternatively copied and pasted from the solution file archive, hour0404.css. In the root level of your hour4 project folder, hour0404.html is the base file in this case. Now you'll note once again we see references to the images folder from the course solution files. So you'll want to, if you haven't already done so, copy that entire images folder into the top level of your project, as you see that I've done here. Copying the entire folder ensures that the code won't break as you work through these try-it-yourself exercises. So we can see, for instance, this link takes in the hour0404 external style sheet. In the body portion of the document, we have a div with an ID of buttons that calls a number of ping files from the images subfolder. A second div with the ID of song info gives us IDs of title, artist, and album, respectively. So this obviously looks like the skeleton of some sort of media player. Let's switch over to the cascading style sheet, and this is where we can actually customize the look and feel of each of those elements. After all, these ping files are individual graphic images. The CSS, as you'll see in just a moment, takes those graphic images and aligns them in a very aesthetically pleasing way. To that end, why don't we open the Run menu and select Run to load the project in our default web browser. Note also, if you're a keyboard-based navigator, you can use Ctrl F11 in Aptana to do the same thing. So there we have it. Now, of course, these buttons aren't actually wired to any actions or connected to any active media. But thanks to CSS, we have a great deal of flexibility here and a great aesthetic experience to give to our users for this sample media player web application. Just for grins, if you want to see what the page looks like without CSS styling, you can add the HTML comment before and after the link line on line 4. To comment out code in HTML, as you probably already know, we open an angle bracket, use an exclamation mark and 2 dashes and at least 1 space before what we want to comment out. And then after we're finished, we'll add a trailing space, 2 dashes, and a closing angle bracket. Let's load the page into Firefox. Here we see nothing other than the images and raw text. That's quite a difference that CSS makes, wouldn't you agree?